Hello everyone, welcome to the Rockmore Museum, and my name is Linda. I want to share with you some Haudenosaunee objects from our Haudenosaunee gallery. Right now we are on the ancestral lands of the Seneca, and the Seneca are a part of the 6 nations of the Iroquois Confederacy. We use the word Haudenosaunee because Iroquois is not a native name, so we'll be talking about Haudenosaunee. Do you know what Haudenosaunee means? It means they who build houses. They built the longhouses that I'm sure you're familiar with. It's also symbolic of the coming together of the 6 nations living under one longhouse roof, living together in peace. So I'd like to show you some objects that we have here today. Let's take a look at this basket. This is a beautiful basket, and it's a beautiful example of the Haudenosaunee making these beautiful baskets. And these baskets were made mostly, not completely, but mostly from black ash splints. And this one happens to be made from black ash splints as well as sweetgrass. Now, a splint is a piece of wood. So they would whittle pieces of wood, and then they would mix the grasses with it. They had to soak the wood in order to get it soft and pliable. And they had, you can see here where these have been soaked because there's such a curl to them. The beauty of having the black ash splint is because it is very durable and strong. So when this is soaked and it dries again, then it becomes very strong and durable. And these baskets had hundreds of different uses. They could be used to carry nuts and berries and food, and yes, even water. And you say, water? How could it carry water? Well, if you can picture putting clay on the inside of the basket and letting it dry, it would make the basket waterproof. And so the people were able to use these baskets to carry water as well. Here we have a pot. This pot is a cooking pot. And what do you think the pot is made out of? It's made out of clay. But look at the shape of the pot. Do you see the rounded part of the pot at the bottom? Now you might think that that pot would tip over, wouldn't you? But they had a plan. That pot is rounded so you could mix and stir easily, but it could nestle right down into the coals of the fire and it wouldn't spill. They also had a plan. Look at the top of this pot. Do you see how it spreads out? Well, that's called a collar. You could put rope around the collar and you could hang it above the fire and you could do your cooking in that pot. And today, there are Haudenosaunee who make pots to honor their ancestors, not necessarily to use them to cook in the coals. Let's take a look at these. These are children's moccasins. You know what a moccasin is? It's a soft-soled shoe, and it's made from the buckskin of deer. Often, the buckskin around the neck of the deer was used to make the moccasins because it was thicker and it was more durable. And look at the beautiful beading on these moccasins. Haudenosaunee women of long ago had beads, but the beads were made from shells and bone. But when they started trading with the Europeans, they were able to get glass beads, and then they really decorated their clothing and their moccasins with these beautiful glass beads. Now the Haudenosaunee were expert farmers, and they grew crops such as corn and beans and squash, and those are called the Three Sisters. And corn was the main staple in their diet. And every part of the corn was useful to them. After they harvested, they stripped the corn from the cob. Then the cob wasn't thrown away. They saved that cob, and they could use that cob for kindling or to put in their fires. They could also use the cob for whittling corks. And if you look at this basket right here, The stopper in this basket has a cork that's made from the corn cob. Even the husks were used. Did you know what a husk is? The husks are the green parts surrounding the cob, and those are dried, and they use those as well. And those husks could be used for making mats, making baskets. Here is a salt storage basket that is made with the woven corn husks. And they would have to take those husks and they would have to soak them, and then they could braid them and make them into beautiful baskets and the moccasins and the rugs. Children also used the corn husks, and they would make dolls from the corn husks. And here is a doll, a beautiful doll, that is made from corn husks. And what the children did was they would have to soak those corn husks, and then they can mold them into the doll. You might notice, I think a close-up shows that the doll doesn't have any face. And there's a story about that. That was done on purpose, and you could go to the video link on our website from the Ganondagan State Historic Site and learn about the legend of the doll with no face. There is so much to learn about the historic and the contemporary culture of the Haudenosaunee. You could go to our video resources at the Rockwell Museum website. Better yet, you could come and visit us here. If you can't come, you could visit our e-museum and experience our collection visually. And I want to thank you for being a part of this today and learning a little bit about the Haudenosaunee culture.